In this video, I'm gonna break down downtown San Diego neighborhood by neighborhood and give you everything you need to know if you're planning to live here or even visit the city. These are gonna be the most important things you need to know so you wind up in the right location. We're gonna hop right in just a moment, but before we do, my name is Wesley Guest and I'm a local real estate agent here in downtown San Diego. I make videos just like this, all about living in downtown San Diego, pretty much at least once a week. If that sounds like something you might be interested in, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you're thinking about moving to within or out of downtown San Diego, or pretty much anywhere in San Diego for that matter, don't be shy about reaching out to me. I'd love to help. My contact information is going to be down below in the description. All right, so when we're talking about the neighborhoods that make up the entirety of downtown San Diego, we're talking about 8 different neighborhoods basically. Keep in mind, downtown San Diego is a pretty small area. You can literally walk across the entire downtown, let's say from the farthest point in Little Italy, and if you were to walk all the way to the other side of downtown, which would be somewhere probably around farthest point in, let's say, East Village, you can do it in probably 30, 35 minutes, maybe even faster if you're a fast walker. I'm gonna show you this cool little map here, and as we go down the list of each neighborhood, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about each one, what's going on, do people live there or not, and we'll kind of focus on it on the map. So the first neighborhood we're gonna talk about is gonna be the Gaslamp Quarter or the Gaslamp District in downtown San Diego. I mean, it's world famous. Gaslamp Quarter is a small little sliver here. It's 4th, 5th, and 6th Avenue. That's it. A lot of people think downtown San Diego is the Gaslamp Quarter, but the Gaslamp Quarter is just this tiny little part. There's a huge concentration here of restaurants and nightlife. So anything from pubs, bars, there's some nightclubs down there. It's very busy, very loud. There are some places to live. Keep in mind, if you're living there, it's not gonna be the most quiet lifestyle you can find in downtown San Diego. On the flip side, if you wanna go out for the evening, let's say, you're probably gonna walk into the Gaslamp Quarter. So it's gonna be a big part of your life. Whether or not you wanna actually reside or lay your head and live there, that's a whole different thing. The second neighborhood I wanna talk about is very well known and popular in downtown San Diego. It's actually where Petco Park is. The San Diego Padres play there. It's gonna be East Village. Because it's so large, it's very different in the different parts. So the number one thing that comes up a lot of the time when people are talking about East Village is gonna be, people talk about the homelessness. The majority of the homeless kind of congregate in a few certain areas in East Village, around 16th and 17th, kind of close to where the freeway is, near where the post office is. And another area where a lot of homeless encampments, and you've seen a lot of tents. As you get off the freeway, coming, let's say the 5 South, so if you get off on the 10th Avenue exit, right as you get off the freeway, you're gonna drive in about a block and a half, and you're gonna start to see quite a bit of homeless activity kind of in that area. Other parts of East Village are gonna be very different. You don't see as much homeless activity. My favorite part of East Village is gonna be right by the ballpark, kind of right by 10th, 9th, 8th, and then where it hits J or Island or K. I mean, it's all centered around the Padres there. There's some very nice places to live. I spend a lot of time in that area. My favorite gastropub, Naughty Barrel's right there on Market Street. Some of my favorite buildings are in that area. Next neighborhood I want to talk about is going to be Little Italy, San Diego. At the moment, this is probably one of San Diego's most hip and trendy neighborhoods in the entire county. And personally, it's probably where I spend the majority of my time right now, so I'm a big fan of its neighborhood. It's got a lot of fantastic restaurants. In fact, in my opinion, I think the best restaurants in San Diego now are not in the Gaslamp Quarter. I think they're in Little Italy. There's also gonna be, there's bars. There's a pub called the Princess Pub, which is a lot of fun. There's wine tasting. There's Pally Wine, which is a lot of fun. There's Amy's Wine House, which is cool. There's a lot of different things going on, a lot of activity. It's a fantastic place to live. 2 great things about Little Italy. There's a lot of buildings with a lot of condos that people own and they live in. And there's also a lot of apartments. It's a little more pricey than some of the other parts of downtown San Diego, so keep that in mind. One of the big allures of living down there, everything shuts down just a lot earlier in Little Italy than the Gaslamp Quarter. The bars, the restaurant, everything's gonna be pretty much doors shut, lights out by 11:30 at the latest. And then a big draw as well for Little Italy is gonna be, there are 2 farmers markets that happen throughout the week. There's one on Wednesdays and there's one on Saturdays. Another popular neighborhood to live in downtown San Diego is gonna be the Marina District. If I had to pick one neighborhood downtown that I think is the most family friendly, if there is one, I would say it's definitely the Marina District. This is gonna be the area that kind of butts up to the convention center. So you're right by like the San Diego Bay and the harbor, like Seaport Village, all the touristy stuff. And it wraps around and goes all the way up into, kind of butts up to the Columbia District, touches on the Gaslamp District as well. So it's very popular, some of the most expensive real estate actually in the entire downtown San Diego. The majority of like the nice like residential like condos, like the people own or maybe they own and they rent out, they're gonna be in this area. There's very nice like the high-rise luxury condo buildings here, very popular. There are some apartments, like apartment buildings that are strictly just rentals, but they're in this area because this is one of the first areas in downtown San Diego that was kind of developed, the newer development. They're not bad, but they're not as nice as some of the newer apartments that are going up. I mean, there's brand new apartments that have just been finished in other parts of downtown. If you're looking for like a rental, like an apartment, I don't know if the Marina District is the very best place to look. You're right next to the Gaslamp Quarter, so you can walk in and out to the restaurants. During the day, there's actually like parks. There's quite a few parks. Walk your dog. There's a promenade kind of along the trolley and the train right there. It's very easy to get on the trolley from the Marina District. There's a couple pickups right there. So the next area I want to talk about is right next to the Marina District, and it's often confused with the Marina District. So it's called the Columbia District. It's gonna be the area, it's actually like the skyline you see, it's like a postcard skyline, right? You'll see it on videos. It's all those buildings that run across kind of the front of San Diego Bay. Super nice area. Some of the very most expensive condos in the entire downtown San Diego are sold in this area. Let's say you live in one of the high rises there, you just take the elevator down, walk out the doors, make a quick left, and you're gonna find yourself right on like India Street or Kettner and right in all the shops and the restaurants of Little Italy. It's also gonna be very easy to walk towards the bay, and you hop right on, let's say like the Harbor Walk right there or the Bay Walk. Santa Fe Depot, so if you're gonna take the train somewhere, Amtrak or the coaster, there's a stop right there. The next road I want to talk about is going to be called Cortez Hill. Cortez Hill is one of the smaller neighborhoods in downtown San Diego, and it's very residential. It's going to be made up of a pretty good combination of apartments and condominiums, kind of similar to the Marina District. You see, like if you're going to see families anywhere in downtown, this is another neighborhood where you'll start to see some families. It's just a little bit quieter. There's two major cons, in my opinion, to Cortez Hill. One is going to be in the fact that it's in the name, Cortez Hill. It's on a hill. If you are looking for walkability and convenience, you're always gonna be going out, you're gonna be walking down. So that's great, but you gotta walk back and you're gonna be walking uphill. Not a huge deal, but just something to keep in mind. The second con to consider in this area is gonna be the fact that it butts up right on the 5 freeway. A couple of the buildings there, the freeway noise, I mean, it is loud. There's units like, there's a building there called the Mills, Parkview. Nice quiet car. That was like right on cue. Not everything is affected by the freeway noise in Cortez Hill, but some of the units are. Next neighborhood I want to talk about is going to be Bankers Hill. A lot of people don't even realize Bankers Hill is still part of downtown San Diego. It's in the 92101 zip code. Reason being, it's on the north side of the 5 freeway. Biggest thing to keep in mind in this area, well, two things I think that you need to know. It's all on a hill, so it's very steep, kind of like Cortez Hill. You're gonna be going up one way, you're gonna be going down the other. But the biggest thing there is that you're in the path of the airport. There could be a lot of airplane noise. So there's a cutoff time when airplanes are allowed to take off at San Diego. It's supposed to be 11 p.m., but there are exceptions. Planes can land a lot later than that, even into like the late, like early morning hours. Positives there are you're gonna be butted up right to like Balboa Park. There's also different markets and different like delis, little like local like dive bars. I mean, it's a cool area. Just keep in mind those airplanes, they can be pretty loud. Final neighborhood I want to talk about is going to be Core. The first thing to know about Core is that you're probably not going to be living there. There's virtually no places to live. You're gonna have a lot of like San Diego buildings, like the courthouses are gonna be there, federal courthouse is there. There's commercial like high rises, like businesses, and it can get a little confusing. In fact, I've seen like videos where they've confused like Columbia District and Core, but they're not the same thing. Probably not going to be a big part of your life if you live here, unless maybe you work in Core. So that's going to be my breakdown for downtown San Diego neighborhoods, and in my opinion, I think that's covers a lot of probably what you need to know if you're thinking about living here or if you're gonna visit. I think if I had to pick a personal favorite, right now it's gonna be Little Italy, followed very closely by East Village because I love going to San Diego Padre games, and maybe the Marina District. Although you can make a case for almost any of the neighborhoods. The only other thing I would urge you before you commit to, let's say, like if you're gonna live here, is if you can, visit the neighborhood in person and hook up with a local professional who can maybe help you make the best decision on where exactly you should live. So hopefully you found that helpful. I'm putting out videos like this specifically about downtown San Diego and like living in downtown San Diego at least once a week. If you found this video entertaining or you just enjoyed watching the video, subscribe. That would help me out a ton. If you're looking for your next downtown video to watch, check this one out here. I think you might find it useful or you might enjoy it. Have an amazing day.